I'm Scott Simmy, and joining me on this episode of our new Soundbite micropodcast is InDro's head of R&D sales, Luke Corbeth. Welcome, Luke.
Thank you so much for having me, Scott.
So let's jump right into it. Who actually needs an inspection robot?
I think anyone who would really benefit from having their assets regularly inspected. This could be industries like utilities, mining, solar, oil and gas, construction, and many more. Really making that switch away from reactive maintenance to preventative maintenance. It's also fair to say that any company that suffers massive financial implications from downtime could benefit from inspection robots.
So what does an inspection robot actually do?
So the robot lives on site securely in a doghouse, if you will, wirelessly charging so it's ready for deployment at a moment's notice. Then when a mission is triggered, it can come out, it localizes in the space, and travels to various waypoints across the site with obstacle avoidance. At these waypoints, what it's going to do is capture images, video, audio, ultrasonic samples, etc. of key points of interest. So for example, at a utility substation, that could be anything from gauges to dials to transformers to fence lines and nearby towers.
And what is the advantage over just sending a human being to go check these things out?
This kind of comes down to the classic 3Ds. If the job is dirty, dangerous, and dull, it can probably be well supplemented by a robot. Not to mention, robots don't quit, they don't take breaks, they're not subject to human error, they don't need to take vacation or require benefits, and they also don't need to travel to and from the sites. They're definitely environmentally friendly in that sense. It's worth noting, though, that these robots aren't replacing workers. In fact, they're empowering the workers to focus on the things they actually enjoy doing. So one instance of this would be in the construction industry. We had a client who struggled having workers on site regularly capture images of their site at the end of the day. But with a robot autonomously navigating the site, they're able to collect so much more data and have a lot more insights into the completion of their project.
All right, let's say that I've gone and I've bought a robot, I've got it installed at some remote facility, it's doing its job, and then suddenly it stops working. What then?
Yeah, so a lot of those problems can be solved just through smart setup and mission planning. So having a very robust path with a lot of redundancy will eliminate the chances of failure. At times, some failure is inevitable. So it's about programming certain behaviors to return home if the path is blocked or navigate back to the doghouse if there's some sort of malfunction in the field. Not to mention, we do have field technicians who can always come out and service the robot, or through our InDro controller UI, we can actually access all of the nodes of the robot to troubleshoot it in real time, but also do some other things like issue new updates to improve its performance.
When you think about all the automation that seems to be coming online in factories and inspection robots and all of these things communicating with each other, do you feel we're at some sort of inflection point? I'm talking here really about Industry 4.0.
Yeah, I think the surge of AI has really brought robotics to the attention of a lot of companies as the physical embodiment of this technology. As it relates to Industry 4.0 and IoT, 5G really is one of the enabling technologies for robotics in this space, since it allows for real-time teleoperation and monitoring. The data that's transmitted over a technology like 5G is both safe and fast for low latency command and control, but it also means that payload data can be reviewed in real time or seamlessly sent out to the cloud or existing software platforms after integration.
Now, the point of this brief podcast is really just to let people know a little bit more about inspection robots. But in the event that there's someone listening who's thinking, hey, I could use an inspection robot, how would they get in touch with you?
They can get in touch with me through our website or here on LinkedIn. I'm happy to talk through the given application at hand and make recommendations around the optimal robot setup, software setup, so they can achieve the desired workflow they're looking for.
Awesome. Listen, thanks so much for your time. That's a wrap for this episode of Soundbite. So Luke Corbeth, head of R&D sales for InDro Robotics, Thanks very much.
Thank you for your time, Scott.